Adamu Garba, hey, this time around, for me, he's talking, he's saying the truth, has warned President Tinubu not to listen to what President Macron from France and other Western leaders are telling him as the ECOWAS chairman to send troops of army to Niger Republic because of the coup that happened, that they removed their president and a military man is now their president. That for them to restore peace, that they should, as ECOWAS chair, he should send troops and everything. Adamu Garba said, don't listen to them because it's not going to end well. Because ECOWAS have other countries under it. And some of the countries also have military heads there. You understand? It's not democratic. That like in Burkina Faso also. That if the three other countries that have military government there should now join the Niger and start attacking Nigeria, how are we going to fight the thing? I beg go, Nigerians have so many problems. I don't know. They can't go make our president or chairperson, I be chairman. Which kind of wahala be this one? See also, our hand and our leg, no dey for this one that they do. More than no put our name. Before they go, what's their name? Russia. Their hand there for this thing. E dey there. When Russia see Ukraine never get themselves. Make president know what thing they do. If for just do on your own, come go carry chairperson. May no go put us for wahala. We no come go here bomb one day. He also said that the Western leaders are doing this for their own selfish interests. That each time African countries fight, not to their own benefit, because Africans will use their mineral resources like this, our oil, as trade, use it to trade, to get weapons, to fight. Niger now will use their uranium to also trade, to get weapons, to fight. At the end of the day, now the Western world, that the Western leaders, now they go benefit. You see these Western leaders, if you go the whole TikTok, see condemnation, Africans are rising up. Please, let's listen to Adamu Garba. Please, remove sentiment and listen to this guy. He gave example with what happened during the Biafra war. Hey, please, let's listen. Hey.
In as much as we are not happy with the situation of Niger, where a democratically elected leader, Bazoum, was ousted by the military dictatorship, we should be very careful as Nigeria or other West African countries in how we approach this situation. I want us to look at the realities of what happened that led to the coup. Number one, we have two United States military bases in Niger, one in Agadez, which is base 201, and one in Niamey, which is base 101. And we also have 6,000 strong force Operation Barkhane forces of French. In the same Niger, when they were sacked away from Mali and Burkina Faso and Guinea-Conakry, they all packed themselves in Niger. Yet, of all their presence and the military might, they simply let the coup took place. They allowed it to happen because Mohamed Bazoum, the ousted leader of Niger, was the most pro-Western Niger leader of these days. Yet, they did not stop military coup against him. They removed him. They allow him to be removed. So if this is the case, our ECOWAS leadership, especially under the president of our country, should not make a mistake of making any effort in military intervention in Niger, as they have been forced or pushed by the Western powers. I saw Kamala Harris calling our president, telling him that she is good and they should take action. French President Emmanuel Macron and Anthony Blinken, all of them talking and flattering our West African leaders to take action. And what they meant is military action. And once there's a military engagement within West Africa, it plays perfectly into their game, because it's going to be cheaper for them to get oil in our Nigeria, for instance, because we are going to be trading crude oil in exchange for weapons to continue to fight the war. In Niger, they are going to be trading in uranium to get weapons in order to continue to confront Nigeria. And the West will now be using this as a ground to test their weapons, to make us destroy ourselves, to sell more of the same weapons and extract our resources with our blood. especially northern Nigeria. The north is practically going to be a hot zone and a battleground. Despite the problems we are having with banditry, with terrorism, with Boko Haram, we are now also going to be converted into a battle zone for testing weapons, including biological weapons. We should not let that happen. We should make a diplomatic effort. As I made in my write-up earlier, the former president of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, and Tahiru Mangal are well respected in Niger. A high-powered delegation under their leadership should be made to go to Niger and find a solution diplomatically to this issue. Video, I want to emphasize that from geostrategic perspective, it is important and in the interest of the Western powers that West Africa should have no peace. Because our peace is enlightening us and giving us more stability, and is making us to recalibrate our partnerships, our foreign partnerships with countries that matter, that cares about our development, as opposed to the country that exploit and steal and plunder our resources. Now that they are losing the war completely, it is in their interest that there is no peace. And we should understand that the global conflict taking place in Ukraine and Russia has drastically affected the energy demand in Western powers, and they are looking for energy powers. And what better countries to play in getting these energies than Niger, and particularly Nigeria? Nigeria have largest gas and oil reserve, while Niger have highest number of uranium deposit, the 7th largest uranium deposit in the world. 1/3 of French nuclear energy, is powered by uranium extracted from Niger. In fact, even the Eiffel Tower in France is powered by uranium that is coming from Niger. Meanwhile, in Niger, 80% of the population of that country have no access to electricity. So there is a complete plunder. But now that the Nigerians are becoming more democratic and Nigerians are becoming more, a demand of transparency and accountability is forcing them away from getting these resources as they used to get it. So therefore, it is in their interest that there should be war, so that we can use these same resources cheaply to them in exchange for weapons. We shouldn't play to the hands of these people, please. In fact, another thing again we should understand is, if West Africa decided to invade Niger in the name of trying to restore constitutional order, we are not going to be fighting Niger, but we are going to be fighting Wagner PMC that are present in Mali, in Burkina Faso, and in Guinea-Conakry. If the combined forces of Wagner came to Niger with forces of West Africa confronting each other, trust me, we're going to destroy our entire region for nothing other than to satisfy the ego of the Western powers. We shouldn't be too cheap to play to this game, because this game is going to destroy us completely, especially northern Nigeria. We should never allow that. That should not happen in our presence. These guys are playing us big time to plunder our resources at the expense of our blood and our sweat, by creating enmity between the countries that we share so much affinity with. We shouldn't do that. The population of northern Nigeria and the population, 55% population of Niger, are almost equal, the same people. So we should not be able to allow these people to play us at the point of the borders they drew against us, please. I noticed that West African leaders, under the leadership of our able president, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, just rounded up a meeting and have agreed to give the Nigerian military 7 days ultimatum to restore the democratically elected leader, Mohamed Bazoum. And in as much as we want to speak hard in the front of the media, it is in our interest that we should explore a critical diplomatic mission that will see to maintaining the peace and security within this region, as against using any hard power between ourselves and our neighbors. It's going to be very destructive. Nigerian population respects the former President Muhammadu Buhari, and also they respect a renowned businessman, Tahiru Mangal. A high-powered delegation under the leadership of former President Muhammadu Buhari can help Nigeria in trying to find a negotiated issue or peace settlement between the ousted leader Mohamed Bazoum, so that he can be released from the military detention and the military powers. And we should understand that most of the countries that are bordering Niger right now, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Guinea-Conakry, are all under the same military dictatorship. Any effort to try to affect the sitting military government in Niger will be deemed confrontational directly against them. Are we ready to confront 4 nations at a time? Why do we even have to think about war in our borders? We should not do that. We've seen how Ukraine is practically destroyed simply because they played to the tune of the Western powers. All countries that played to the tune of the Western powers ended up getting destroyed. Saddam Hussein placed in their hand when he was fighting against the Kuwait, and at the end of the day, what happened? He got destroyed. You know, the same Saddam also fought against Iran. At the end of the day, he got destroyed. The same situation happened in different places in the world, and at the end of the day, they got destroyed. So we should not make the mistake of playing to the tune of these Western powers. They don't care about us. The only thing they need is to explore and exploit our resources to their own development. And they will do it much more easily and cheaply in the position of conflict and war. Because we will depend on them exclusively to win our wars in exchange for our resources. Come on, we have history of this in Nigeria. When during Biafra, they are getting our oil for free of charge while we kill millions and millions of our citizens together. We should not go back to that history.